Okay, now we're going to talk now, we're nearly at the end here, about the no supply, test in a rising market, and something called no selling pressure. It's a down bar on volume lower than the previous two bars, and it shows lack of selling as the market falls. The background is important here. This is only an entry to the long side if you have strength, not weakness in the background. This is a higher probability entry to the long side when you have an uptrend in place. Do not enter this in a downtrend. Okay, no supply. NASDAQ. Okay, now I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to show you the trade that I took in New York. But here, very clear example again, widespread down, level bar, closes level. Market churns, it comes back down. These three bars here are key. There's lack of selling on each bars. Look, the bars close level, the volume declines. Level bars like that, volume declining with strength in the background, shows lack of selling. Crikey, someone is in Australia. It's 5 a.m. That's Chris. I know it's a bit of a long session, Chris. That's why we're recording it, so you can go back at this at your leisure and you'll all get a copy of the download. I know there's a lot of information. We could have maybe done this over 3 or 4 sessions, but trust me, because we're going to record this, you'll be able to go back, and I know that as you get tired you start to absorb less and less. But as I said, the good thing about this is you're here, you're listening to it, and you can go back to it and use it as a reference point. But here is lack of selling pressure here on these 3 bars. The volume is declining. The market doesn't fall on this declining volume, and the next bar is up. Very, very strong sign of strength, because you've got this right here in the background. Widespread down on very high volume. Here we have the trade that I took at the New York Traders Expo Challenge. And again, we'll get the video out to you. Richard, when we send this PowerPoint out, can we put the link to the video in there as well? Mm-hmm. So we'll do that tomorrow. Is that okay? Yeah, so by Monday morning, or Tuesday morning if you're in Oz, you'll expect a video from us. And in there will also be contained 10 charts that Philip and I will prepare with some questions for you, which you'd like you to email back. And then next week, I'm going to tell you at the end what we need you to do to send us your charts. I'll show you how to do that when we finish here. We've got about another 10 minutes. We're not far away now. So here we've got a nice, but there was a lot of strength in the background here. We had a nice sign of strength here and here and here, but there was no trade for me here. I had to wait. The trading challenge had just started, and we churned. We tried to go up here on a bit of no demand, but the market continued to go up. And we took out the old highs, and then we came back down. And these 2 bars here, okay, were very, very attractive for a long trade, as I'm going to show you shortly. So we had strength in the background. That's the first thing. Now we have got a no supply test bar after a test in a rising market. So they tested it twice. And I basically, as I came in, I put a buy order above here because I knew there was strength. Market came off again. I put my buy order here. And then I was pushed in, as you'll see. I said I was going in. As this market came up through here, I was pushed into the trade. Now, that was, as you saw that happening, okay, and this is Chicago time. I was actually in New York at the time. I had a bout of supply hit the market, okay, which is just up here, okay, and the market came off, but it came off on low volume. As you saw, Philip, I took my profit, and it went and carried on, broke out, just as I said it would, and carried on for the rest of the afternoon. Okay, there was the test in a rising market just after it. Now that again, very, very strong sign of strength. Now if you listen to the recording, I looked very closely at the chart of the 15-minute NASDAQ and the S&P. You'll hear me say in front of a large audience, there was over 300 people watching live, over 1,000 I think watching on the internet. I said I expect the market to break out. Here's the reasons why. Here's the strength in the background, put the whole thing together, and then the trading challenge unfortunately finished at 10:45 New York time, so I wasn't able to show what actually happened, but this is what actually happened. This is the E-mini. I'd been looking for a test of this supply here. I'd got strength in the background, look, massive widespread down bar, look at the volume, next bar was up. That had not disappeared for me. I was starting to trend up, but then this supply bar comes in, and I was looking for the breakout, and there was the entry. And actually, it's a no supply bar, and the next bar, the order that I put in the afternoon was above here, and we moved all the way up to the top here. Okay, and that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that chart, because if you look at the Traders Challenge video, you'll hear me talk all about this, That was the actual chart that that it ended up the day up at 1094, and sure enough it broke out. And here we can see, which will send you this, all the bars marked with what they mean, from bar A through to B, C, which was no supply, right the way through to D, which was the entry, and then fortunately we got confirmation all the way as the market moved sideways. They kept testing, and then the trade guided trending system had stayed green, and we broke out to the upside. That was a very strong, high probability trade, and again, Tom does say that when you see these principles, if you know what you're talking about, you've got no problem explaining it to people as we do here. Okay, so going long after you see no supply or a test in a rising market. When you see no supply with climactic action in the background, this indicates higher prices, so enter a buy order above the high as we've suggested, or on no supply.